Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. And today, what I wanted to do was discuss spirit guides and how we can get in contact and really have a good relationship with our spirit guides. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions. What are spirit guides? How do we get in touch with them? How do we hear them? Are they really there? Does everybody have a spirit guide? All that kind of inquiry. And what I wanted to do is to really start to answer some of those questions and just give a better understanding of what spirit guides really are. I remember my journey for the longest time, I kept on doubting that spirit guides were real. I kept on doubting that I really had a spirit guide. And I kept on thinking, oh, all the things I'm hearing are just my imagination. How can I differentiate between my normal thoughts, my imagination, and my spirit guides that may or may not be there? How do I even know they're there? And it took me the longest time. It took me years to get even comfortable with the notion of maybe there is such a thing as a spirit guide. I mean, I'm an international medium, I'm a spiritual teacher, I'm a best-selling author, and it took me years to get even comfortable, my ego mind, to get comfortable with really believing that spirit guides are always beside me. I had been doing evidential readings for years. I'd been writing, books for a long time. I've been teaching for so long, but there was still that nagging doubt beside me. It was that ego mind that kept on going back to my subconscious, my old memories from when I was really young, and it was like, no, that's not possible. Don't get fooled, etc. So that was the clash. That was the part of me that really was having the most problem. But let me back up and just kind of describe what spirit guides are. Spirit guides are not, these incredible, magnificent angels that, have godly powers. Spirit guides are nothing but people who have lived thousands of lifetimes on our planet, but their incarnation process has completed to the stage where they no longer need to incarnate in, the human form. They've done that. That's something that they've finally gotten past, and they're now at a stage where, having walked in our shoes for so many times, they now can turn to us and begin to help us because they've experienced the same things that we have. They know what it's like to live a human life. They've done it thousands of times. So now they're turning around and they're helping us. And they've been trained by higher level guides who themselves have been trained by even higher level guides. I mean, there's an entire hierarchy, higher and higher and higher and higher. So these are people who are trying to help you out. Think of it as sort of your old grandfather who's been around a long time and he knows exactly what you're going through. In the case of spirit guides, they've been around a really long time and they really have been walking in your shoes for a lot. Um, and many times, spirit guides, at least your main guide, will have been with you throughout many of your own incarnations, many of your own past lives. You'll be walking the same path together. And spirit guides spirit guides have a vested interest in seeing you grow because spirit guides have an accelerated vibration and a spiritual growth just as much as you do. So the more you grow, the more they grow. So it's in their very interest to try to see you grow. So they're always trying to raise you up. They're always trying to raise your vibration. They're always trying to help you on your path. They're not going to give you the answers, but they will certainly drop all the breadcrumbs along the path. It's now up to you to start to see the breadcrumbs, acknowledge the breadcrumbs, follow the breadcrumbs, be aware of the breadcrumbs, and go where those breadcrumbs are. I know when I was younger, and also just before I began to develop my spirituality, spirit was hitting me over the head, but I just didn't understand it, didn't know what it was. I didn't really even fathom what they were trying to do. I mean, I was aware of spirit when I was a young child, 5, 6 years old. And for years, I kept on dropping breadcrumbs in front of me. I didn't know what it was. So I kind of ignored it. And Spirit was, dropping more breadcrumbs, especially with books. Books would just constantly come to me, and I'd see all these things like, wow, we got to read that one, 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 got to read, and just kept on going and going. And Spirit was just dropping all the breadcrumbs, and I just kept on following it. I wasn't thinking about it, but Spirit does that. What you have to do in order to follow Spirit's guidance is to follow the breadcrumbs that they're giving you on your path. Trust what you're getting. People say, how do I know Spirit is giving me advice? How do I know my guides are helping me? What kind of help, what kind of advice are they giving me? How do I even know? It's going to be so subtle that odds are you may not even be aware of it. You may not even be thinking of it. You may not consciously be saying, that's from my spirit guide. You may feel an internal pull in a certain direction. You may feel a certain recognition that this is something that you probably should be doing. And your ego mind, conscious mind is saying, nah, I want to go in a different direction. But it's that subtle awareness that something is important there that's kind of nagging in the back of your mind. It's kind of like that little whisper going, come on, you got to go there. You got to keep, let's go there. That's the spirit message coming right at you. And you've got to be aware of it. But it's up to you to follow it. Spirit will never push you. Spirit will never tell you exactly what to do. They will always give you clues. They will always leave the breadcrumbs for you to follow. And it's up to you to follow them. So they'll give you the advice, they'll give you the clues, they'll give you the direction, but it's up to you to pick up those breadcrumbs and follow those breadcrumbs where they take you, because that's where your path is. If you follow the breadcrumbs, that's great. If you see things that suddenly say, oh, wow, I should be doing a podcast today, or I should be writing a book today, or I should be writing a paper today, or I should be meeting these people. If it's something that suddenly wells up inside you and you have this feeling that you should be doing something, follow the feeling. It's that gut instinct. That's what's going to lead you in the right direction. It's your heart. And many times people say, well, I want to talk to my spirit guides. I want to hear from my spirit guides. Okay. The main thing you've got to do is you've got to be able to allow, you've got to quiet that monkey mind of ours that is so loud and so obnoxious and so chattering away that it's just, it's tough to shut up. It's tough to even think over that because it's so loud and obnoxious and constantly yapping all the time. We can't even hear what's going on the other side of that. We can't hear the subtle, lower, softer conversation that's actually going on behind the scenes. If we just manage to quiet down our ego mind, quiet down that chattering monkey mind for just a moment, you'll start to hear there's a really soft conversation going on in the background. And you'll become more aware of ideas that pop into your consciousness, more aware of things that become more meaningful to you. Because it's that chattering monkey mind that's going a mile a minute that is preventing you from even hearing, understanding, knowing, seeing, realizing what else is beside you. So that's why meditation is so important. That's one of the reasons why I'm so emphatic on people making sure they have a dedicated meditation practice of any kind. And remember, it's not the duration, it's the consistency. That's what's so important about it. Whether you're doing a visualization meditation, whether you're doing a mantra meditation, a transcendental meditation, whatever type it is, whatever it is that you feel connects with you, that's what you should be doing. And just make sure that it's consistent. Even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes a day, that's all you need. You just got to give your mind, your monkey mind, the ability to finally take it easy. So if you want to begin to connect with your guides, what you need to do is to allow that monkey mind to chill out for a while. Maybe in that short little meditation of yours, just try to sit in the silence, focus on your breath and just go, just get calm, or maybe go out for a walk in the forest, or outside, and try to get some place where it's calm and peaceful. Try to get to a place where you can be alone with nature and with the peace around you and the tranquility. And you'll start to find that things will start to come to you. And you're like, wow, what's that? That's pretty cool. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that. And you'll know it's your guides when it comes out of the blue. You're not even thinking about it. You're like, whoa, what was that? And sometimes it'll be really obvious. Sometimes it'll be really subtle. You'll be like, what is that's interesting. I just felt something. What's that? Or sometimes it'll be like somebody hit you over the head with a hammer, where you're like, whoa, that's that. I got to take advantage of that. I got to really do something with that. But never will spirit ever come to you and say you have to do this. They're never going to force you to do anything, because that would be against your free will, and that's not the way spirit works. They're not allowed to. They're not able to. It's against a universal law. So, as far as spirit guides are concerned, just remember that you've got your inner band of spirit guides, anywhere from 5 to 7 different guides that are working with you most of your life. Everybody from your main guide, who's kind of like your director, if you will, your conductor, your team leader, whatever you want to talk about. That main guide is the one who is sort of your go to guide, that is the orchestrator of your entire team, your 5 to 7 main members of your team. And then you've got other guides like your protector guide, which is kind of like a bouncer who kind of keeps different energies away from you that don't serve you. Also, kind of keeps spirits in line. Sort of says, okay, one at a time, please. Just kind of like, let me see your ticket. Okay, come on in. So think of them as sort of like the bouncer. There's obviously a teacher guide, which may often wind up being your main guide, but there's a teacher guide who is somebody who's trying to give you spiritual truth, spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge, and help you grow. You may also have a philosopher guide, often referred to as a doctor. It's a doctor of philosophy. It's understanding greater aspects of your total being, and learning things about important aspects of your life, your existence, and different spiritual philosophy. You may have chemist guide as well, that works on your aura, your different chakras, your different energetic existence and makeup, and what types of energy need to be created, changed, and how different chemistry, if you will, energetic chemistry, need to be worked on, so that way you'll be able to evolve, grow, and interconnect. You'll have a number of different other guides that are also just essentially helping you to constantly grow, constantly keep moving forward. And outside of that inner band, you'll have an outer band of spirit guides that I like to refer to sort of like a subcontractors. These are all specialist guides that will come to you as you need them. You can call, and they're very specialized. These are people who had expertise in all of their different lifetimes in special areas. It could be everything from relationships to transportation to employment to romance to you name it. These are people that had expertise in these specific areas. And when you need them, you call them up. And when the issue is completed and done, they go off somewhere else. That's what I'm calling it. It's kind of like a subcontractor. Kind of amusing, but that's the way I like to think about it. And so these are the guides that you can work with. And always know that you can always ask your guides for their advice. The first thing you have to know is it a true desire? What's underlying your desire? Is it a material desire, like, oh God, I really want to have more money so I can go out and build myself a new house? Is that like material? Is that something really important? Or is it the underlying desire of, you know, I want to have greater abundance so that I can share more, be freer, allow more, I can help other people. Something that will bring you closer to your spiritual home. That's where these all derive from, is you really are trying to find out the underlying motive. If the underlying motive is something that brings you closer to your spiritual home, i.e., the non physical, heaven, whatever name you want to refer to it as, that's the underlying realm that you're really trying to get close to. So, first acknowledge that and find out what that is. Then just know that you are allowed to and expected to ask your guides for what help you need, what it is that you desire, because your thoughts are very powerful. If you ask your guides for something and it's a true need that's getting you home, true need that's close to your spiritual truth, your guides will gladly help you. And then, thirdly, all you need to do is to release the question and expect that they will give you the answer, because they will always answer you. They will always give you the information that you seek. They will always give you the information that you need. But know that the information that you receive will not always be direct. It will not always be handwritten, in a binder with nice pages and everything, where it's obvious for you to go, okay, I just got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not going to be quite like that. It's going to be sometimes obtuse. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of digging yourself. You got to figure it out. But they're going to give you the information. They're going to lead you with all those breadcrumbs. You just got to, walk down that path and go, huh, okay. So now I see these new breadcrumbs. What does this mean? Let me go figure this out. And you got to sit with it. They'll give you the information, but it's up to you to figure out what that information really means, what you really have to do. And keep on sitting with them. Keep on working with them. The more you sit with them, the more you work with them, the more you ask, the more you say, okay, that's great. Help me understand a little bit more. Help me comprehend a little bit more. I'm still a little bit fuzzy about what you said about this thing over here. If you're able to work with that, that's really where you begin to have that true relation with your guides. And always know they're always there. I mean, they're always at your side. For example, right now I can feel two guys on either side of me. They're kind of looking at me going, is this guy, saying what we want him to say? I'm not sure. What do you think? But I can feel him back here. And there are many times where I've been in trance circles where participants have taken photos of me, and they've seen two guides, one on either side of me and one behind me, and they're always there. They're always there. There's no doubt. And this brings me back to the very beginning of what I was saying earlier. When I was, younger, in the beginning of my development, my ego mind was so doubtful, so materialistic, so, even as I had these experiences, and even as I was developing well, and I knew what was happening, my ego mind did not want to come along for the ride. It was absolutely determined to say, no, that can't be real. That's too good to be true. Mm-mm. But sure enough, over time, Spirit began to validate all of these pieces of information that began to come through. And my ego mind was flabbergasted. It didn't really know what to do. It just basically had to give up, said, okay, you win. It's got to be real. And that's the beauty of it. It's going to take a while for your ego mind to come along for the ride. It's going to go kicking and screaming, I promise you. You're going to be there saying, no, 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 it can't be. But sure enough, it is. Just know that it's real. And ask, that's another thing, if you're having problems with your ego mind not believing, and you're having trouble saying, is this real? How do I know it's me, or and my imagination or spirit? Just keep asking Spirit for validation. Say, Spirit, I know you're there, but my ego mind doesn't believe it. My imagination doesn't believe it. My monkey mind's always in the way. My conscious mind is always in the way. Spirit, help me understand that you're with me. Ask those questions. Ask for validation. Ask for the help. Ask for them to help you to truly appreciate and understand that they're there. You start asking those questions, they'll be glad to help you because they want to help you. Think of yourself. Let's say, for example, you are a guide to somebody else. Let's say you're shepherding some young student or something, right? You're just imagine you're some kind of teacher, or you're a guide or a guidance counselor, in real life. And this young person that you're trying to help or teach or guide or counsel, whatever, they don't believe that you're any good. They don't believe that, you're here for them, that they should even be talking to you. What do you do? How do you go about telling your student, your person that you're trying to talk to, that you're really there, that you're really trying to help them? What is it? What kind of steps do you take to try to make sure that you have a really good relationship with your student? It's exactly the same thing that your guides are going to do with you. You're the student, they're the teacher. They're going to try everything they possibly can to help you on your way of understanding and growth. Because remember, we're all students on this Earth School. We're all, in class. We're all, trying to progress from kindergarten to first grade to second grade to third grade, et cetera, all the way up to grad school. And it's a school of hard knocks, really. And we're all trying to progress. And Spirit is trying to help us to move up, the ladder and have that school progression. So we're the students, they're the teachers, they're trying to have us graduate up to each new classroom. So just, expand your understanding, be with Spirit, keep asking Spirit, and keep expecting Spirit to give you the answers that you seek. Again, it's not going to be obvious. It's not going to be hitting you over the head, although who knows, maybe it will. But just know that you're going to get the answers that you need. You have to be aware of the fact that it's going to be there. It may be in code, it may be backwards on a mirror, but it's going to be up to you to try to get that interpretation. It's going to be up to you to kind of start to figure out what it is that they're saying, because it may not be direct. It may be indirect. It may be hidden. It may be in any number of ways. It's not going to be like you're in a steamy shower where the mirror is all fogged up and all of a sudden letters start to come on the mirror. It's not, well, I mean, if it does, great, but it's not going to be quite that obvious. It's going to be, much more like a feeling, much more like a pull, much more like a, wow, look at all these things. And all of a sudden, opportunities may start to crop in your way. And you may not even realize it's happening until it's already done. I can think of a couple of instances where all of a sudden, opportunities, little tiny opportunities, started to drop my way. And I started becoming aware of little things like, oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'll do that. Oh, yeah, let me do that. That too. Oh, this is a cool idea. And these little things started to crop all over the place. And at a time, each little one, I thought, inconsequential. What is this? Doesn't, I wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't until I looked back at all the opportunities that had been put in my plate, and I looked at them, I'm like, all together, they all answer the exact thing I had requested. And sure enough, that's what I started to do. I'm like, oh, wow, look what my guides did. They put all of these opportunities, little tiny microscopic things right in front of me. And I kind of went with them because they sounded interesting. They sounded cool. Sounded like I was pulled to it. Like, okay, let me try it out. No skin off my nose. And sure enough, boom, it was exactly what I needed at the exact right time. And that's the way Spirit works. They will give you exactly what you need at the exact right time because you are exactly where you need to be right now. So I hope that answers some of your questions about spirit guides and some of the ways you can connect with spirit guides. Hopefully, in the next week or two, you'll be able to post a couple of more videos about connecting with spirit guides, and perhaps even some of my trance readings, some of which are just absolutely stunning in my mind. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that they really did that. But again, it's that ego mind of mine that keeps on going, huh? Did that really happen? So yeah, so I'll hopefully post one of those pretty soon, and it'll be really great. In the meantime, if you have any questions, by all means, let me know, because what I'm trying to do is, as you know, I'm trying to raise a vibration and spiritual awareness of all of humanity It's a small little thing, but I'm trying to really help people grow. I'm trying to help people, raise their vibration both through understanding spirit and also helping people who are already on their path, perhaps already have a spiritual business. I'm also trying to help them to expand their spiritual business or expand their practice of either spirituality or coaching or one on ones or anything that they need to do to help other people. So that's kind of what this is all about. So if you have any questions, by all means, let me know. And until then, till the next time, this is Chris signing off for now. Love and light. Bye.